So here we are with part 13 of the series I'm doing on how I make rolling stock in Gmax for trains. And just to remind you, this is a Great Western Railway carriage from about 1900, 1890, 1900, and it's a composite first third, and I had all sorts of fun and games making one of the sides, as you'll have seen from a couple of the previous videos, and now I'm in the process of cracking on a bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to make the clerestory section, and for this I've made a plane 56 feet by 1, that's 56 feet is the length of the carriage. Clerestory plan, there we are. So there's the plan of my clerestory, and let's just rotate it around just so as to make it visible in this particular perspective view, and we want to make sure it's texture corrected as I do that. Okay, and at the moment it's on the 0. It's going to be 0 there, centered, and I'm going to do it as -5. Did that take it the right way? No, it wants to be just 5, doesn't it? Take it away from the center line, which is where my next bits and pieces are going to appear, and that is going to be going to the left view here. And I'm going to do this in exactly the same way as I've done other clerestories. It's pretty straightforward, you'll realise by now. Make sure that that is centered. Let's make that 5. Just sheer hell of it. Let's make that 20. Doesn't really matter, it's just for the process, just for making it easier for me, really. So rectangle again, and it needs to be 56 feet by a foot. And let's make sure that that is centered, and then we're going to center it over this. There we are. And then we've got a series of holes to include, of windows rather. Just a bit concerned. So here again I'm going to go and make sure that I'm looking at it in the correct position. Carriages, and I'm just going to display the plan of E38. There we are. So there it is, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got all those there along. These are the third compartments. So we've got, I think it's in the correct position. Yeah, it looks to be in the correct position. Just check again over there. And I'm not going to worry about whether it's different on the other side or not. This is going to be the same on both sides, having had all the fun games with the previous. I just want to make sure here that I've got this correctly positioned, and just wondering what that line is there. That is my rectangle, and let's make sure it is centered. That's where the problem was. There we are. Okay, now I'm going to go in and create these by starting off with a rectangle and then altering the corners, giving the corner some radius until I'm pretty, there it is, around 6.9. I'm also going to colour that a bit darker just to give me something to work on, and I'm going to convert that to an editable spline, and we just zoom along. You'd like to think that these are all pretty standard sizes, but even when I trace them so diligently from the drawing, it's clear that the drawing itself is not as precise as you'd like it to be. So because my texture is based on the drawing, I'm going to follow my drawing as my own version of the drawing, which provides me with my texture. I wonder if I ought to... I was wondering about the corners there. Look okay there, but I'm just wondering if I was to make another rectangle. I mean, that one there looks a bit more... Let's increase the size of it slightly. Let's experiment with that. That's better. So I'm going to work with that one on this, and okay, make that into an editable spline. Means I can alter the vertices. This is far better than making a solid piece, a box, and drawing a mesh and extruding it is far superior to making a solid box and then trying to punch the correct shaped holes in it using the Boolean compound object option, which I find always, well, if there's any curve, there's always going to be a problem. There are always going to be issues with that. But you end up with all sorts of weird polygons because it creates its own polygons when you punch into a solid. It's not, it doesn't treat it like, say, a piece of wood and you drill in a hole in it, so you just get a circular hole. It sort of, I'm not sure what it does. I'm sure there's some clever person out there who could tell me. Not that be that worried. I just know what it does. Anyway, I try to avoid using the Boolean compound object as much as possible because it isn't a reliable way of making the correct shapes. And this way, working with the two-dimensional meshes first is far more satisfactory, as you'll see. Well, as you've seen in several, most of these videos, this series of videos, and just doing the last of these. That's the last one, yeah. Now I'm just going to check along here, these blue ones. Just delete that one a minute and bring in this one just to see if it's a better interpretation of those curves. I think it is. Yeah, I'll make that the spline, and then I'm going to delete that one and that one, and then I'm going to take this as a these as similar as possible. It's very unlikely that you'd notice much of a difference when it came to the final model. But I don't know, it's just for my own satisfaction, I suppose, that I decide to do this in this way. I think that one was a little bit shorter for whatever reason, or longer. There you are. So just move that over, and notice how I'm picking up. Just that's the way I do it, like that. And it picks up while I've got vertices selected, and it picks up all the vertices within my bounding box. So then there'd just be that corner, or that's the whole side, whole end. Okay. So there we are. That's our. Should be pretty straightforward. In fact, the only thing that has been on this one, but it should now be pretty straightforward. There's the main rectangle I'm going to convert to a spline, and then I'm going to attach each of these, and they're going to change colour to the colour of the spline to which they are becoming attached. There we are, all the way along, and that's it. And now I'm going to clone this up and out the way. I will need two of these, but I want to keep the mesh handy. I've made a complete mess of it. Extrude. It's got to be, I mean, leaving it on 0 would check that it's a closed mesh, but you know, really you've got to, clerestory side, there it is, look. Doesn't fit too bad, does it? Very nice. However, the first thing I've got to do is make sure that all the other faces apart from that outside face are in this brown colour texture. So take it all down, scrunch it down. Okay, there we are, it's all brown. Now we'll just select the outer face, and because it's, for whatever reason, it's not actually in Gmax doesn't have it located correctly within the XYZ, so you've got to export it, which is an unrecoverable change. You can't go back and delete. You could delete it, but it'll just banjacks it anyway. Edit. We only want the bit that we, and then planar. Here we are. And so that's good. That's all good then, as they say. That's all good then. What was that in W1A, wasn't it? And now I can just, I don't really want to move it up. I'll move it that way. Okay. And I want to go around like that. I think I'm correct. Should be the same as on the other side, but I've got to turn the other side brown. Yeah, okay. And then I'm just going to click on this one. Just make sure we get the right one. Edit. And reduce it right down. Move it over, and that should be our clerestories. Yep, 2 clerestories. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Put it in here. Save as E38 22 version 22. Version 2.2, and now it's 2.1. Okay, delete that. Don't need it anymore. Where are we? Delete. Okay. Okay. Just looking to see what we've got here. That is the actual end. I guess that is. That's all. That's the glass. And again there. I was just checking which end I'm looking at there. So now we've got, here we are. Let's bring them along. Let's bring this one down. Might as well centre it while we're at it. And we should be about there. We need to stretch the glass, but nevertheless it's in place. So what have we got there? What height have we got? 114398. Make sure it's centered. 11.4.398 and 19518. 9.598. 598. 491. Oh. Huh. 19494. Obviously my short-term memory is going. Yeah, well. Okay, so that gives us our clerestory on each side. Good. Let's just stretch the glass so everything's glazed. Although you get this effect on this side view, I know that it's okay. Just move those vertices along. And in this direction. So it's actually buried inside. Right, it's not going to let me pick it up from the other side. So I have to pick it up here. There we go. This one. So let's have a look. And our carriage is beginning to look the part now. Thank goodness. And what can we lose? Let's just have a look at edit select all, just to make sure we haven't got anything tucked away in the middle of nowhere, because I was picking up some very odd bits scattered way. No, it's all okay. So zoom in and I can lose that. Let's just save things. Okay, now what I'm going to do is hide a lot of stuff, because I'm going to do the corridors, and I know I've got to move the corridor over, so that's going to be, once I've hidden the stuff, that's going to be my next stage. Let's just move the under frame, and the brake pipes can stay with it and go as well. Okay, and then I shall want to hide the most of the roof. That's picking up some bits of the some parts that I want to keep, so let's hide that, and then let's just select that, hide those. There we are, that's the corridor. Right, so now we can look inside the carriage and actually make the layout, sort the layout out. And the first thing I need to do is to pick this on here, X-form, so we'll collapse it down again, select the face. I think I've already got it selected by the looks of it, and I'll flip it. There we are. Okay, and now I move the door over this section, and I move it over to where it says minus, so I want plus, so and there's also another little bit, there it is, it just sort of does the bids for the where the tumble home at the end of the carriage, just tucks it in. So there we are, that's that one. And on this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away that and that bit of the handle, and then these pieces here. That's a handle bracket. So this is for the guys to scramble up onto the roof. And just want to remind myself, I think, which end is that? Can't remember. Anyway, so what I'll do instead is I'll pick up that little bit. Oops. To zoom in, pick up a little bit. The surround, the door, and the back, and indeed the door on this side. And at the moment the door's on the wrong side there, and that's okay, and we'll group it. And I shall take a copy. I shall rotate it. Not that way though. Z, yeah, 180 degrees, and it's going to go where that one is. So I'm going to colour that black. Now if I kick away from it, there it is, the black. 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 Along. I tend to use black as the colour which is, that's it there, I think. That's it, that one there. So I'm going to call that end piece, because I'm going to go, because first of all what I'm going to do is hide that, and then delete two of the pieces that it replaces. And then I just want to unhide my name end piece, and now I've just got to get it back into position here, because it's way over the wrong way. So there we are. In fact, if I was to centre that, I wonder, that help, and then just 0 it. Yep, there we go. So let's have a look, see what we got. Well, I know the door's on the wrong side, so we're going to change that now. Because the side of the corridor is not the side of the corridor of D12. So I'll ungroup that. And first of all flip this. So the corridor section's over here. And then basically reverse what I did before. Basically move everything back over there. I suppose I could have... No, I couldn't have done it any easier, really. I suppose I could have done. Could have copied this before that was necessary. I'm just going to leave that. And I'm just going to leave steps and access on one end. I think that's quite adequate. Then the other thing I've got to do, I've got a door on that side. And some have a separate door that's grouped up at the moment. Door on this side, collapse all and move it over. Okay, so now what I want to do is top down view, have a look, and I'll deal with the messing about with the with the corridor sections. So let's have a look at the plan. So there we are, that's what I'm now going to reproduce, the seating and the compartment section and these doors here. Right, so first thing I think I want to do is to bring this up. Now what I'm doing is I'm moving this, I've got two screens and I'm moving this over to my other screen, so I'm keeping this visible, but you won't be able to see it because I'm only video recording this screen here. But believe me, it's still there, and believe me, I need it. So I'm looking down on that plan. Let me just pull that back a moment. That is going to be, I mean, let's rotate this. That's the way yeah, that's the thirds. So that is that there. Oh, that's clever. How did I do that? Huh. Oh, let's see something Windows does. So that's the same as up there. So that's what I'm going to follow. So I need to have the corridor. Oh, don't tell me I've moved those back and forth and I didn't need to. I do believe that's the case. Or is it maybe... No, hang on. Let's check the sides. No, these thirds have got to be up here. So for this plan, I've got to rotate it once more. And again, that's the plan. There we are. That's the position. Good old Great Western. They have all these complicated side corridor carriages, and trust me to go and want to make them. So I'm going to, this is a partition that I used to separate, on D12, to separate the guard section, luggage section from the compartment. So that's a plain partition. So I'm going to group that up and I'm going to use it first of all to put in the plain partitions that I need. And I'm going to center. And I need to rotate it. There we go, because the corridor is on the right hand side up here. Let's just make that bigger so we can see what we're doing. Don't actually need that. Right, so the first, starting down the bottom here, it's between the two loo windows down the bottom. Sorry, schoolboy humour. Why? I think I need that. Come on. Don't like me bad. And I bring that down, and it's going to be in between those two. So let's make sure we got them correctly positioned. Just doing this by eye. So that separates now our three third class compartments, which are going to be here with the corridor over there, and with the lavatory here, from the first class. And the first class, there should be another partition further up by the lavatory, but first of all what I'm going to do is I've got, I think there, that is just hide this. That's for the rain on the roof, coming off the roof. I think this is a single mesh, isn't it? Yeah. Let's just make doubly sure. Oh, it's one-sided. Oh, but that's okay because that's for the lavatory, and you don't see into the lavatory. So let's rotate that around 180, and its position was -2. So let's do it at 2, and that will bring us down to, let's go up here, and that will give us our third class lavatory. There we are. It's maybe not the right length, but it doesn't matter at this stage. And now we've got some third class partitions to get in. I'm moving the seats away because I know that's what they are, seats. And I'm going to group this, and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to move it over to the other side, so it's going to be -1 foot. Okay, and that is the, just pick that up, that's the initial partition for the first of the 3 third class compartments, which are, oh, scary, over here, you know. So that's the first one, and that's the second one. They're never very wide. And the third one wants to be the, I think this one here, yes, which is like a single-sided partition, in that it only has pictures and the mirror on one side. Group that, rotate it, and move it down. And the reason why it's only one-sided is because the inside face, the other face, this face up here instead of this face down here, is inside the completely concealed lavatory compartment. So I can bring that down now to about here, and let me have a look here to get the correct position. And it needs to come to there, midway, and that's our lavatory section. So collapse all that and increase the width to there. Let's make sure we've got a lavatory section that's going to meet up, so that's going to be actually concealed. Yeah. I want to extend this a tad. I'm not worrying about how it affects the textures at this stage, and I will come back to that. This one, I think here, to there. It's just that's just the teak wall. So if we look down here, you can see where I've created. There's the lavatory compartment I've just created, and these are the 3 third-class compartments. So I might as well finish those with seats. Now it doesn't matter that I'm picking up. I think these are. I can't remember what. D12 was break third, wasn't it? So these will be third as well. Okay, that one as well, I suppose I better do. And let's just make sure they're all centered. I've still got another partition up there, so those are back to back. No, they're facing each other, I think. Let's have a look. So that's the, yeah, I think I'm right, that's the back of a seat, and yeah, stick that there. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is move it over, so whatever it was there, I'm just going to move it over to there. Take it down. And I tend to project back into the teak panel at the end. There's the one facing the other way. And let's bring that down. So let's have a look sideways on. You don't get much leg room in a third class compartment. You don't get much width either. Maybe 4 people crammed in across there. You lucky souls. And let's take those, just clone them up. More or less correct on the size there. See it here. And let's do it again. We've actually got a bit more space there than I anticipated. So I'm just going to move that to there. Okay. So I think what I need to do is adjust this. Let's just bring all that. Oops. Not all of that, thank you. All of that. Kind of close. Make sure I've got right. So for this one, what I'm going to do is bring it along a little bit more. Not too much. Right. There. To make it the same as about there. I'm just going to move the seat over a bit. And then I just need to adjust the lavatory corridor section. Okay, that's that. And now we need some corridor sections for the third class. Now the complication here with these is that they are you don't want to pick up all those things with them. Let's just group that. And let's centre the group. Which was centred, okay, and move it over. And bring it down. And this is where the textures might need a fair bit of redoing. But at the moment I just want to get them into position. Zoom right in. Let's have a look. And you'll see how the seat butts right up against the partition. Yeah, in fact that's going to be way over. So I'll come back to that one. Let's make a clone anyway. Take it up. Ungroup this. And drop these boyos back. And that's the glass. As I say, I'm not worrying about how the effects, because that's too tight. You can see that on the texturing there. There, rather. I may need to adjust that a little bit. It's not too bad. But we'll see what this moving all these vertices do to the whole thing. I do like doing corridor sections. I think it's nice to see the sort of development of, interesting to see, I should say, the development of railway carriages during this period. So ungroup that and do these sections first. Got a slight gap there, which I might have to attend to. One thing that occurs to me is I can just carry the glass all the way along. Save a few polys, a couple of 4 polys I think. Good old poly parrot. I'm going to delete that one. Ooh. Chancing it, and then I just need to make sure. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that I've got the windows into the compartment to the exterior looking about right. They should all line up with the doors, but they're not. And it'll be nearer there. Okay, that's not too bad. What about this one? Yeah, let's do that because that's the look of it. My God, Phil. Okay, and then let's do this one. First of all, ungroup it, and then collapse it. The reason why it's all yellow is just the colour I chose. I don't know why I chose that one. It's a bit garish. And I want to butt these vertices together rather than have them on top of each other, because you sometimes get a pretty weird sort of flickery effect if you're not careful. I mean, I get that by putting the lettering on the sides of the carriages, so if I can avoid it then I will. So that just needs to join up with the corner there, and this one the same. There we go, and this one can actually be slightly like that. And then I've just got to pick up the glass and extend it, because none of these internal doors are going to be opening right the way through. Okay, and that I think is our third class compartments. I'm looking at the wrong end there. There we are. There they are. So I'm just checking. Yep, I think we're okay there. So that I think is most of the third class section. I've got to go back and you can see where those textures are all over the place. So I've got to redo those on both sides, I think. Yep, and perhaps the loo one as well. But that's okay, not a problem. And then from there we then have our next section will be two second class compartments, and I'm going to use the existing compartments which I've already brought down there. So I'm going to lose, what am I going to lose? I'm going to lose some seats, because I'm going to have to bring in the seats that I made for the first class compartments. So that's a single-sided end. That's a single-sided one, and that's a single-sided one, so I want to keep those just in case I need them. But this one, which is still a group, the next cross partition occurs between that lavatory and that window there. So this is the smoking saloon, which is giving me all those hassles. So I'm going to take this, copy this, and it's going to go in there. And it's going to be a lavatory, and then two first class compartments. There's another lavatory there. So there's two first class compartments with a lavatory either side. So let's just make sure that that is in the, yeah, it looks good. No, that wasn't it. That's it there. Actually, it doesn't look too bad there. I'll pick up the lavatory on this side, yeah. So that's one lavatory, that's going to be another. Okay, and then that's going to be another there. So if I look down here, I can see we've got the third class, and that's separated from the first class by this corridor door. And then I've got this is the all for, this is going to be the smoking saloon section, which I had all the fun with. And then we've got a lavatory here, and then we've got a lavatory here and two first class in between. Because lucky them, they get a gents lavatory and a ladies lavatory. So what I can do is I can just come in here and let's pick this one up. We don't want that. Alt. No, we don't want that. And let's just group that one. Okay, and I'm not worried about all the pictures being the same at the moment. It's a minor detail which I shall sort out. Let's bring this up, and it's going to go up here. colours coming through are down here. I think they're alright. So that's going to be that lavatory there, and then I need a single-sided facing so I'm going to use this one here. That one there. I'm going to group it, and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to move it over. That's because this edge here, the main partition wall, has got the curve at the bottom for the tumble home at the bottom of the sides. You've got to think about all these things. Actually, I don't know that I've thought about this one particularly well at all. I don't think it's that one I need. I think it's that one. Yep, that's facing the wrong way, so it is this one here. So let's pick this one up, and let's group it, and do the old rotation, and now the pictures are facing upwards, and position it correctly, and move it down, and down to here. I've still got to get that aligned correctly. But I think what we can see now, hopefully it's going to begin to work. Yes, so let's go into the main part here. I'm not going to continue much longer now. So this, that wall there, that is unnecessary. So what I've got here is I've got the 3 third-class compartments with the side pieces which need retexturing, sorting out the texture there. I've got a loo here, third-class loo. I've got a corridor division there that closes off the corridor as well as the side. Then I've got a first-class loo, gents or ladies, I'm not sure which, with a single-side, single-facing partition there. Then we've got 2 first-class compartments, and then we've got another first-class lavatory, gents presumably. That'd be the ladies, I guess gents need it. And then I've got the smoking saloon which I've got to sort out. So if I swing this round like this, and just drop it down a bit, and bring in my my diagram, you can see this is where I'm at. Those are the 3 that I created. There's the lavatory, third-class lavatory. There's that partition, and it's actually a larger lavatory, larger. We get more room in the first-class loos than you do the third-class. And then we've got 2 wider first-class compartments. Then another first-class lavatory. That's going to be in there, and then that's the lavatory. And then we've got the rather odd smoking compartment there. We've got an unnecessary seat that's coming out, because my next job after this will be to import some first class seats because they have the armrests, and I'm not going to mess about making those again. So I'm going to call this section of building this complete so far, as it were, and in other words, that's the end of the video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it of interest. If you have any questions or comments about the way I'm doing things, or any queries about Gmax or how to make these sort of vehicles for trains, don't hesitate to post them. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and please, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, because it encourages me to put up more of these remarkable videos. So there we are.